In my last video where I raised the possibility that Bryan Kohberger knew one of these occupants or that he was there during the time of the attack, there was a good amount of comments, some agreeing and some disagreeing. But there were two reoccurring questions. If he was there, why is the defense trying to say that he was out driving? And if he was innocent, why would he leave the scene of the crime? So let's talk about it.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Welcome to The Point, YouTube's only legitimate open discussion channel, where I'm not going to block or criticize you for having an opposite opinion of mine because I can't read anyways. And to those people who did disagree with me in that last video, I appreciate you having the courage to get on there and say what you felt. So if Bryan was at the scene of the crime, why is the defense trying to say he was out driving? It is a legitimate question because that's what we're hearing in the papers. That's what is currently being reported. And the real question is, do we actually know what his alibi is? Have y'all seen anything filed in the court records? Or have you heard any type of argument over this motion? Well, listen to what Ann Taylor had to say about it.
One of the things in the state's motion for scheduling order had to do with the alibi defense. And as the court remembers, we had made some submissions and we needed more information before we could do anything more complete. We're still in that circumstance. But when the court vacated its scheduling order last fall, that was part of the scheduling order that was vacated. So the state asserts in its scheduling order that our time has expired, and that just can't be.
So she clearly says information is still missing, and it's that missing information that caused them to be at a standstill when preparing this alibi defense. And it was supposed to be addressed in that scheduling order last fall that was vacated. So these issues that they're having, they still have them, which is a very good reason why we don't have any type of alibi from the defense. But regardless if you're a pro-burger or a no-burger, as a lot of people like to say on this platform, the question we should all be asking right now is, what is this missing evidence or information that they need to formulate this alibi defense? Because when we start talking about alibis, is that not just one person's account of what they were doing at a particular time on a particular day? You wouldn't think that there would be a whole lot of additional information to go along with that. But clearly something is missing. And what is missing is a very important question. And I would speculate at this time that the problem they're having with this alibi defense is getting witnesses to talk to them. Now, when Ann Taylor mentions there is a potential of 4,000 witnesses in this particular case, do you believe she is referring to one of those individuals and they're the reason that they haven't been able to formulate this alibi? Are these some of the people that are not willing to help the defense because they don't want to deal with the potential social media backlash or the potential media backlash as being the individuals who help somebody charged with a heinous crime like this? And I would almost be willing to bet that whether you believe he did it, believe he didn't do it, or you just see suspicion at this point, you probably would agree that the only path forward in this case is for all these potential witnesses to talk to the state and talk to the defense and just give the truth. Don't talk as if you're picking a side for or against Bryan Kohberger. That is not how this thing needs to move forward. You simply need to be focused on telling the truth. Because would you not agree that the truth isn't for or against anybody? It just is the truth. And when the facts are laid out and the truth is laid out, all that's simply left to do is let the chips fall where they fall. And another valid question is, well, if he did this and he was there, why would he leave the scene of the crime? I've raised the theory that if he was at the scene of the crime, but he did not commit these acts, that would explain the lack of DNA evidence found in the home, in the car, and in his apartment. At least that we're aware of at this particular point. And maybe there is the possibility he knew one of these two surviving roommates. Maybe there's the possibility that he went there to try to score some type of substance. Or let's agree with the media and say that he was some type of peeper creeper and he was over there stalking these people because he's a little bit of a sleazebag. Let's run with that for just a second here. Really put yourself in this individual's shoes. Think about that scenario right now according to all these court documents. You have two individuals upstairs who have been brutally passed away in a horrific act. You have two individuals on the second floor who have also been brutally attacked and have now passed away. And you have an eyewitness to the scene of a crime with Bryan Kohberger standing right there in the middle of it. In that particular scenario, if that was you, what would you do? And before you go on and say, well, if he was innocent, there would be no evidence of him really being there. And there's no logical reason why he would think that he would be accused or charged for this particular heinous act. But look at the current scenario as we actually know. When you pull out the anonymous sources and the alleged news leaks, what evidence do they actually have according to the court documents? It does not read like they have much evidence at all. But to take this one step further, what are the things we're hearing about Bryan Kohberger? Everybody who claims to know him, that has spoken to the media or made statements online, have almost universally said this was a highly intelligent individual. But he was socially awkward and he was very weird. So regardless if he just happened to be there because he was looking to score some type of substance, or he happened to be there because he was meeting one of the roommates, or even if he was the peeper creeper like a lot of people have said, he is literally the odd man out in this particular situation. He is the individual in that home who does not belong. So how does that not sound like anything but a no-win scenario? And have we all not heard the saying, wrong place at the wrong time? So there is the potential that Bryan Kohberger was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. So let's just say he was there to score some type of substance. Or let's go with the media portrayal and say he's some type of peeper creeper. And he was there that night. And he saw this horrific act going on. And before you say that's ridiculous, if you believe all the reports that are out there about these alleged leaks, then you would also have to acknowledge the fact that it was reported he did save somebody's life at a previous job. So maybe he was in the area. Maybe he was looking at these individuals in the home. Maybe he saw a horrific crime being committed. We already know he has some type of obsession with law enforcement. He's tried to become a police officer in the past, and he's studying criminology right now, and he runs in there. Is it too far-fetched to say that he was the one who said, I'm here to help? But then realizing the situation, realizing that there is nothing he can do at this point, and that he has just put himself in the middle of a horrific crime, and he starts to put two and two together and says, oh crap, I gotta get out of here. I can't stick around because I don't want to tell the police I was looking for some type of illegal substance. Or I don't want to tell the cops that I'm stalking one of these individuals because that's just going to make me look more guilty. And he bolts. Or maybe there's the possibility that I'm wrong. You can let me know down in the comments below. Other than that, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. Y'all stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.